New York Jets select Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner is a New York Jet!
Swaggy Sauce Gardner.
I love Sauce. I love his tape. I love his press technique. I love his confidence. He has everything you want to see in the position. And I think Robert Saleh and this scheme is perfect. It's a hand-in-glove fit for him, man.
Garrett Wilson.
It's Garrett Wilson! The New York Jets have just got two big-time playmakers!
I believe that Garrett Wilson is going to be the most impactful rookie receiver in this class. And I think we see Zach Wilson play like he did the last 6 games of the year, times 10, and have a phenomenal second season.
Wow, you think? Yeah! Yeah! Let's Jermaine Johnson!
Brees Hall, running back, Iowa State.
Brees Hall, oh my God, they got him! They went offense. They went with the best running back in the draft. Jeremy Rucker, oh my God! The Long Island native is a New York Jet!
J-E-T-S, Jet! Let's go!
Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Sorry, we got a little lag. Oh, it's all good. We're here, though. We are live here on the NFL trade deadline day. Whoa, there's a lot of stuff happening around the NFL right now. There's nothing going on with the New York Jets yet, but there's some trades all across the NFL to talk about today. So the trade deadline, as you guys are aware, is less than 1 hour away. It's less than 1 hour away, and we'll be live to see if the New York Jets make any type of moves. We just saw, I don't even know which trade to bring up first. How many trades are happening, man? The first one we got to talk about is definitely the Miami Dolphins acquiring Bradley Chubb. The Jets were one of the teams that were interested, but the Miami Dolphins are the one that gets him. And they gave up a first-round pick, and now the Dolphins do not have a first-round pick next year at all because their own first-round pick is forfeited. So the Miami Dolphins made a move for Jeff Wilson, the running back. So the Dolphins are making moves. Calvin Ridley just got traded. There's a lot of trades happening right now. A lot of trades happening. And we will be live for this hour leading up until the deadline to see and react live to all of the trades that's going on. And hopefully we get a New York Jets trade that we can all break down and react to together. So this is really what it comes down to. And yeah. Everybody hit that like button on your way into the show. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Because there's so much hectic stuff happening, man. And the thing that if there's anybody that the Jets would be probably going to trade for now that Bradley Chubb is gone, would be an offensive tackle. But I don't think that's going to happen because I think the New York Jets are confident with Max Mitchell and George Fant, and they're coming back after the bye week. Not saying it's guaranteed that they will not make a trade, but I don't know, man. A lot of moves are happening. Chase, where do we even begin? Chase Claypool to the Bears. Bradley Chubb to Miami. Calvin Ridley to Jacksonville. There's a lot of stuff happening. William Jackson. And the players that could be moved from the Jets are guys like Elijah Moore, who requested a trade, Denzel Mims, who requested a trade. I don't think that's going to happen. Also, Bryce Hall might have some value. He's an inactive player for the New York Jets that hasn't been able to play if a team is needing a corner. So we'll be live throughout this entire league, throughout this entire hour to see if anything is going to be happening for the New York Jets, as I'm just on Twitter right now to make sure I don't miss any breaking news, because this breaking news is flying all over the place. So let's highlight Bradley Chubb real quick. Bradley Chubb, I made a video yesterday about the Jets being interested And I just didn't really think that Joe Douglas would pull the trigger. I don't think Joe Douglas would have liked to sacrifice a first-round pick for Bradley Chubb. So we called and see what the price was, and he drove up the price, and the Miami Dolphins are the one that gets him. The Dolphins need Bradley Chubb more than the Jets. So it kind of makes sense that the Dolphins got him, because look at the Jets, man. We are okay on the D-line. Bradley Chubb, it would have been like we're trading a first-round pick to make our defensive line, like, it already is great. So it's kind of like, all right, let's keep that first-round pick next year. Let's continue to build through the draft, and let's get, I don't even know what position we're going to get in the draft next year. I don't even want to talk about that. But if you and the Miami Dolphins are struggling this year in terms of their pass rush, right? The Dolphins are 5-3. The Dolphins are, all in to win this year. And they have 15 sacks all season, which is bad. And Jalen Phillips is their, young stud pass rusher. So they needed to pair him up. And Bradley Chubb is now there at 26 years old. So it didn't really make sense for the Jets to get Bradley Chubb just because we have Jermaine Johnson, we have Carl Lawson, we have dogs on the defensive line. That's not a position of need. That was just a move of if the Jets really felt like he'd be a good piece for the long term, if we can trade for him and get a contract extension. So I'm not upset with the Bradley Chubb going to the Dolphins. It's definitely a good move for the Dolphins, even though they did sacrifice a lot. I mean, the Dolphins just traded away their first-round pick and their fifth-round pick for Chubb and Jeff Wilson. So they're definitely making some moves. We'll see if there's any other moves to be made. So we will be live all the way up until 4 o'clock and afterwards to really break down what's going on around the NFL. If you guys are just tuning into the show, please do your boy a big, gigantic favor and smash the hell out of that like button, guys. Really do appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the show here on NFL Trade Deadline Day. So before we get deeper into what's going on around the league in the NFL, let's talk about Mojo real quick, because Mojo is an app that you can download today by scanning this QR code on the screen. And Mojo, as you guys are aware, is a sports stock market, and you can invest in your New York Jets, or you can invest in NFL players around the league. I feel like the trade deadline is a really interesting time to look at Mojo because players are going to be skyrocketing when they get traded. Some players are going to be going down, right? You see Hawkinson, he's going from the Lions, and now he's going to the Vikings. I feel like he's probably exploded on the Mojo market. But when you talk about the New York Jets sake of things, these are the two guys that are trending up on the Mojo stock market since the game on Sunday against the New England Patriots. Garrett Wilson, guess what, guys? He's in the running to win Rookie of the Week again. So go vote for Garrett Wilson. He's coming off a 6-catch, 115-yard day. And that performance from him is getting lost in the loss because, unfortunately, the Jets lost the game and Zach Wilson didn't look good. But Garrett Wilson had a very good game, and Jets fans should be excited about our rookie wide receiver. And then Tyler Conklin at only $4 a share. I mean, I feel like Conklin is our tight end now and for the future. He's in the prime of his career. He is a dominant tight end, and I feel like the Jets got to get him more involved. So this is a really good time to invest in Tyler Conklin if you guys are interested in downloading Mojo. And again, if you scan the QR code on the screen right now, you can download it. And just because you're not in New Jersey does not mean you cannot participate on Mojo. You can download the app and have a lot of fun and get ready for when it does become legal in New York or whatever state that you are in. And here are the two guys that are turning down on the market after that performance against the New England Patriots. Zach Wilson plummeted, obviously, not by too much, only 4.21% after his bad performance. And then Elijah Moore. What is going on with Elijah Moore? I mean, we'll see if he gets traded. I'm going to guess he's not going anywhere. But at the same time, if you're not going to trade Elijah Moore, if you're not going to use him, then what the hell is this impact on this team? So the Jets coaching staff has to wake up and may have a plan for Elijah Moore. So he's going down on the market at $11.65. I feel like he's a player that I would stay away from. I would not invest into Elijah Moore. It's way too much of a wild card. It's not really a safe betting, in my opinion. But Zach Wilson, I'm not going to sit here with a straight face and tell you guys to put all your money in Zach Wilson because he's not really proving anything yet. But if you do feel like he's going to trend up, and this is just a little fluke that he had against the Patriots, and you feel like he's going to get better, now would be the time to invest in him because his at $32, it seems expensive, but it's not. It's very cheap for a quarterback. But these are the two guys that are in the green and they're trending up, and the two playmakers that are coming off big-time performances against the New England Patriots. So these are the two guys that I'm investing in if I was able to. And if they do come to New York, which they are coming to New York very soon, I will be investing in these two players for sure. And I really feel like if the Jets make a move on the trade market, we're going to talk about what it looks like on Mojo as well. So I feel like there's a lot more to break down when it comes to the trades that's happening. So let's get right into that. Shout out to Mojo. Again, guys, scan the QR code right now to download the app. Even if you do not live in New Jersey, you can still participate in the fun and download Mojo, and we can all have a great time and make some good money. So when it comes to the NFL trade deadline, guys, hasn't been any breaking news yet since I was live. The deadline is at 4 o'clock. And the last thing that we got is Calvin Ridley going to the Jaguars, which is pretty wild. He's suspended, so he's not going to play this year, obviously. We saw Bradley Chubb going to the Dolphins. We saw Jeff Wilson go to the Dolphins. We saw Chase Claypool go to Chicago. Hawkinson go to Minnesota. I mean, there's a lot of things happening. So, guys, we're just getting started here on the Jets Media live stream. Do me a favor and hit that like button on your way into the show, everybody, because it's going to be a nice, long live stream leading up until 4 o'clock to see and react to any NFL news, whether it's Jets related or NFL related. We will be talking about it here on the channel, of course. I feel like the Jets are probably not going to make a move. I don't really see anybody on the market that makes sense currently, unless the Jets want to trade away players for picks. I don't know. I mean, let me know in the chat, guys. Who do you want? I know some people want offensive tackle. They want Conklin. They want Tunsil. But I just don't see that happening, man. I really don't. Not saying I would be against it. I just don't see it happening, if that makes any sense, right? So everybody in the chat right now, let me know what are the players that you'd like to see the New York Jets trade for with 45 minutes to go until the deadline. So, again, talking about the Bradley Chubb situation, because the Jets were interested, it just didn't make sense for the Jets. It makes more sense for the Dolphins. And that's my take on it, right? Dolphins, they need pass rush. They lack it. They have a stud pass rusher in Phillips, but outside of him, they're not getting to the quarterback. The Jets, we had 6 sacks against the Patriots. Pass rush isn't an issue. So that's why when I saw the Jets interested in Bradley Chubb, I was like, I mean, we have bigger issues than that. I mean, if they trade for Bradley Chubb, we're basically just doubling down on our pass rush, where it's like, it's already great. And how much better do they want it to get? So I'd rather the Jets hold on to their first round pick and go out there and get another player, because we're seeing what Joe Douglas is capable of with these draft picks in the NFL draft. And I feel like it would have been a mistake to go into this draft without a first round pick. So I am not all that upset that the Jets did not get Bradley Chubb. To be honest, he's a good player. I'm sure he's going to do good things with Miami. They needed him more than the New York Jets. Now, a big question is Elijah Moore. Now, if I had to guess, Elijah Moore is going nowhere. But what is the plan, right? What is the plan with Elijah Moore? If he's not getting traded, he's not getting involved in the offense, what the hell are they going to do with Elijah Moore? Now, I think it would be silly to trade him now personally, because his value is not high. And he has 2 years left of control. 2 years left on his cheap rookie contract. So if the Jets want to, and also we have a quarterback in Zach Wilson who's trying to develop, and we're trying to get Zach Wilson upright, and trading away his receiver would not help his development, especially with some injuries potentially to Corey Davis right now, and we'll see. So I don't see Elijah Moore going anywhere for those reasons. Bad Eyesight with a $5 super chat. He says, if Moore and Mims are on this team past 4 p.m., they need to be on the field. LaFleur needs to go over his ego. Neither should play less than Jeff Smith. Yeah, listen. Joe Douglas is not trading away playmakers around his quarterback for nothing. Like, there's no way Mims is going anywhere or Moore is going anywhere, in my opinion, because Zach Wilson needs as many playmakers as he can possibly have. Zach Wilson is coming off a game where he lost the Jets the game against the Patriots. He had a great day in terms of yards in the first half, but obviously we all evaluated Zach Wilson. And if I'm Joe Douglas, the last thing I'm doing as his GM is trading away playmakers. from your quarterback. So that's why it's like, no, you just don't do it. Unless you trade away Elijah Moore for a playmaker, a wide receiver to replace him, then I don't see it making sense. I don't care that he demanded a trade. They got to get him involved. They got to get him involved. JFM lost the Patriots game. Yes, he was a big impact as well, Daniel. But the Jets still had the lead going into the second half, and they should have won that game. But they didn't. So I'd be shocked if there was a trade. Like, a guy that I could see get traded is Bryce Hall for the Jets. He's not active every game, and if a team wants a corner, he's there. I mean, seeing Calvin Ridley get traded is just an example of what this trade deadline is like. Like, wait, what? Calvin Ridley? What's going on there? What's good, everybody? I hope you guys are having a fantastic Tuesday. We are live here on the NFL Trade Deadline special, waiting to see if there's any other news to get broke. As I was starting my live stream, we saw news fly all over the place, from left field, from here, from there. Like, whoa, relax, right? So there's a lot of things happening. Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins. I think that's a good trade for them. So some people want to trade for Jack Conklin. Don't see it really happening, man. Trade more for Cooks. Yeah, I mean, I don't see that happening either. Get Mims involved. I'm down. Jets forever. Mims look good. Chase Edmonds to the Broncos in that Chubb trade. Yep. So, Dolphins fans are excited right now. But that trade doesn't scare me. Just saying. And I'm not that upset about it because the Jets didn't need him. Dolphins do. So it makes sense for them. If I had to guess, the Jets are not going to make a trade. Because I don't see anybody out there that makes sense right now. I saw some type of report that Joe Flacco could be on the move because Mike White is officially the backup. And maybe they want to get some type of conditional draft pick for him. I don't know. But we'll be live, and I'm just on Twitter right now waiting to see any type of breaking news to talk about. Elijah Moore for Jesse Bates. I don't know. I mean, listen, why would the Bengals do that? They just lost their best corner in Awuzie. Jets trade. The Broncos are trading for Jets pass rusher Jacob Martin, one of several players expected to fill the void. Denver has given up a 4th-round pick. We have a New York Jets trade. Breaking news. Jets just traded away Jacob Martin for a 4th-round pick. Okay, we have a trade. Breaking news. Breaking news. The Jets have made a trade. We are trading away a player for picks. Woo! Okay. All right, Joe Douglas. First move is here. I'll put it on the screen. First move is here. The New York Jets have made a trade. Here it is. The Broncos are trading for Jets pass rusher Jacob Martin. Denver is giving up a 4th-round pick in exchange for a 5th-round pick. So we basically just moved up 1 round. Now, what this tells me is that the Jets love Bryce Huff because we're crowded at that position. We are crowded at that position. So this isn't something that is like going to make or break this, but he had a sack on Sunday. Brian says the Dolphins are looking like an A team in the AFC who wants to make a push. JD isn't going to make a trade. He'll take our loose season and build in the draft. Yeah, I guess so. I appreciate the $5, Brian. I'm just going to make a tweet real quick about Jacob Martin. I'm just going to send out a tweet real quick. The New York Jets. All right, sorry, guys. I got to tweet this out. The New York Jets trade Jacob Martin to the Denver Broncos Jets get, what did we get? We got a 4th-round pick. (2024) 4th. Sorry, guys. Just making a tweet real quick. So the Jets basically just moved up around. What? All right, let's get into the chat. What are your guys' thoughts of this move? The New York Jets trade Jacob Martin to the Denver Broncos. Jets get a 2024 4th rounder. Broncos get Jacob Martin and a 2024 5th rounder. All right. Thank you for the donation, Brian, again. Now, what this trade tells me is the Jets love Bryce Huff, and it's more reps for Jermaine Johnson. That's really what this is. The Jets wanted to get rid of somebody, and they basically they like Michael Clemens. They like the players, and this is basically taking someone off the roster to give other players on the team more opportunities. This is a Bryce Huff move, basically. Bryce Huff season is here. So that's really the biggest takeaway from this trade is the Jets love what they see for Bryce Huff. We have Jermaine Johnson coming, and they like Vinny Curry. So that's really what it was. So let me just put on the graphic. Jets trade Jacob Martin to Broncos. So the first Jets trade is here. I love it, man. Jacob Martin hasn't really done anything that I'm like, oh my God, he's so good. So this basically means Bryce Huff is getting way more playing time and Jermaine Johnson. So I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Now let's see if there's another move to be made. Woo! Now the Jets should the New York Jets should extend Bryce Huff because that man deserves it. I wish this was a move for next year's draft, but hey, you get what you. It is what it is. Jets get a 2024 fourth rounder. So it basically just opens up a spot in a crowded D-line room. I mean, that's really what it does. No fake news in the chat. And no spamming. Come on. Guys, everybody hit that like button, please, if you're just tuning in for the NFL Trade Deadline special. And help me get to my goal of 14,000 subscribers. Can we do it? Can we get to 14K? We are so close. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, baby. And let's get to 100 likes. Let's get to 100 likes. Some people are asking, why will we trade away Jacob Martin? Because we have players on this defensive line that deserves playing time. Bryce Huff is playing better than Jacob Martin. Jermaine Johnson is coming back from the injury list. So it opens up a spot, man. That's what it's all about. Martin hasn't really done anything. And now we wait to see, with a half hour left to go, any other moves. There's some rumors saying that the Packers are trying to get a Jets receiver. We'll see if that's true. I have no idea. Now, if I'm the Jets, I'm extending Bryce Huff in the middle of the season, man. He is slowly becoming a star. And the Jets see that as well. Otherwise, they would not have made that move. All right, so we will see if there's any other moves to be made. I keep refreshing Twitter like nervous to see a move. I refreshed Twitter before and saw that out of nowhere. I was like, oh, we got a Jets trade. Bryce Huff has the highest pass rush win rate in the league. Just saying. He's got a long way to go, but that's why the Jets did this move. It also frees up the cap space because Jacob Martin was on a 3-year deal, so it gives the Jets a slight more wiggle room in their cap next year, by the way. The Jets are not trading for Aaron Rodgers, guys. Like, what? It's like not happening. Now, I know a lot of people want to get an offensive tackle like Tunsil or Conklin, But the reality is we have Max Mitchell coming back. We have George Fant coming back. So that's the reason why I just don't think it's going to happen. I also do not see Elijah Moore being traded. So we have under 30 minutes left. Tick tock, tick tock. I think the biggest shock of the trade deadline so far has been the Calvin Ridley. That's wild. Who the hell would have thought that Calvin Ridley gets traded right now? I forgot he wasn't even a person in the league. Sorry if I'm lagging a little bit, guys. I'm trying to fix that. What would you do with Moore and Mims? Nothing. Hold on to them. Keep them. Because my stance on that is, why trade away playmakers for a young quarterback? We want to see Zach Wilson this season make a step, right? He's coming off a bad game. He's battling adversity. He has a lot to clean up. And the way that you can hurt Zach Wilson's development even more is by trading away receivers. So that's my stance on it, and I'm sure Joe Douglas is thinking the same thing. That's why it's like, why would we trade away these players for picks? Unless you can flip them for another receiver or another player. I don't know. But we want to see Zach Wilson hopefully get better the rest of the year, right? So it would be stupid to move on from the receivers. If anything, you trade away Elijah Moore in the offseason. You don't trade him away right now. So we got like 25 minutes until deadline is over. The Jacob Martin trade is definitely a Bryce Huff and Jermaine Johnson move. Just opens up time for them. Robert says, what happens with Bryce Hall? It's sad. I like him. I like him too, man. I think the Jets are going to keep him similar. Like, Bryce Hall is playing the same role as Denzel. He's inactive until there's an injury. The injury happened to Corey Davis. What happens? Denzel Mims starts. Now, I really hope that Bryce Hall never plays, because that means we're healthy. And one of our best position groups right now is the corner room. So the only way Bryce Hall plays is if there's an injury. And I like to keep him for depth. And that's what the Jets are probably going to do, because they know injuries are part of the game. And it's really fascinating that this Jets team is so deep that we have players that are inactive that we like Denzel Mims before the injury, like Bryce Hall. Like, there's players that are not getting playing time that we're like, whoa, what happened to this guy? He's talented. He's sitting back and being depth. I mean, that's part of your role in football. You got to be a depth player at times. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with depth, guys. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with depth. So now we wait to see if there's another move to be had. Poor Jacob Martin. He gets traded to the 5-3 Jets to the 3-5, 3-6 Broncos, whatever the hell they are. Sorry, man. You'll get more playing time now with Bradley Chubb being out of there. So we're approaching the trade deadline, and nobody expected the Jets to make that move. So who knows if Joe Douglas is on the phone working it right now. So basically, guys, to recap what's going on, there's trades all over the place. Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins, Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins, Jacob Martin to the Broncos, Chase Claypool to the Bears, TJ Hawkinson to the Minnesota, Calvin Ridley to the Jaguars. Crazy stuff. So we'll see if there's another move to be made. But right now it seems like I don't see a type of move that I can expect. I feel like if the Jets do make a move, it'd be something that none of us were expecting. And this trade that the Jets has made, it's not a trade that's going to pump us up, right? Rich Shimini tweeted, the Jets still have plenty of depth on the D-line. Defensive ends, we have Carl Lawson, John Franklin Myers, Bryce Huff, Vinny Curry, Michael Clemens, and Jermaine Johnson. Defensive tackles, Quinn Williams, Sheldon Rankins, Nathan Shepard, and Solomon Thomas. They parlayed surplus into a future asset with the Martin trade, pretty much. Seahawks have cut former Eagles second-round pick J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Wow. I think moving up from the 5th round to the 4th round is pretty valuable in a draft, man, in 2 years. You never know. That 4th round pick can turn into something. Either a trade asset or just finding a gem. Jacob Martin just tweeted, thank you, everything New York Jets. Wish nothing but the best for you guys in that organization. Class act. The Patriots are not trading Kendrick Bourne. Multiple teams have called about him, but the Patriots will not trade him. Don't really care. All right, so we have hit the 20-minute mark until the deadline. 20 minutes. Will the Jets make a move at the buzzer? Who remembers the trade deadline when we were going to trade Jamal Adams away and we ended up not trading him, and then he gets traded in that offseason? I remember that very well. That Jacob Martin trade is a good trade for both sides. It's a good trade for Martin himself, personally, because now he gets a really good opportunity to play. My guy Dan, he remembers the Jamal Adams day. Oh man, I was refreshing Twitter like, All right. Guys, if you're just tuning into the channel for the first time, hit that subscribe button, baby. Let's get to 14K. 14K. Help me out. Do it. Okie dokie. We got what? Under 20 minutes left. Is Joe Douglas going to come out there with shot clock cheese? So instead of getting a pass rusher in Bradley Chubb, we get rid of one to open it up for somebody else, which is very interesting. Thanks for subscribing, my man. Sorry if this stream's a little laggy. I'm trying to fix that. Could Joe Flacco get traded? We are very close to the end of the deadline. The deadline's at 4 o'clock Eastern time. I'm continuing to refresh Twitter to see if there's any breaking news, as there's 15 minutes to go. The Jets going to come out here with one trade. I mean, count the James Robinson trade as two. So, yeah, man. I want some breaking news to freaking talk about. I want some breaking news to talk about. $15 minutes to go. Come on, baby. Hold on. I think I could figure out how to fix the lag. I think it's because I got my editing software up. And my computer can't process it. And I'm just sitting here on Twitter just refreshing and refreshing and refreshing and waiting for news to talk about. Because there's less than 15 minutes to go. 15 minutes to go until the NFL trade deadline. Now, will the New York Jets make a move? They made one. Include the James Robinson trade, they made two. But they haven't really made any splashy style moves. We saw that the Jets had interest in Bradley Chubb, but he ends up going to the Miami Dolphins. So there's a lot of intriguing stuff to talk about. What time is the deadline? The deadline is at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, which is in less than 15 minutes. It's in less than 15 minutes. So I'm waiting. Doesn't seem like Elijah Moore is going anywhere, guys. If that's what it comes down to, I guess so. Elijah Moore is not going anywhere. Denzel Mims is not going anywhere. Jacob Martin's going somewhere, and that's to the Denver Broncos. So that's really the Jets news. When you talk about the NFL, a lot has happened in the NFL, and it's hard to even recap it all. Because where the hell to even begin? The first big trade of the day was Hawkinson to the Minnesota Vikings. And then it all just started. Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. Jeff Wilson to the Dolphins. So we are almost 10 minutes away. Now, I did see something that the Jets could trade away Joe Flacco for a conditional late round pick. Since Mike White's now their backup. Now, I don't think that the Jets would be smart to trade away Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims personally. I just don't. I think those are two players you want to keep. Trade Bryce Hall. Yeah. Bryce Hall is a depth piece on that corner room that we don't need, bearing any injuries. You feel me? So 10 minutes to go. So let's recap what the New York Jets have done so far. Let's start off with last week. The New York Jets trade for running back James Martin. Now I'm all over the place. We trade away a conditional 6th round pick for running back James Robinson, and that pick can turn into a 5th round pick if James Robinson becomes a 600-yard rusher this year. That was last week. And then today, the New York Jets have made one move. And that move was trading away Jacob Martin to the Denver Broncos, and the New York Jets gave up a 5th round pick and Jacob Martin to receive a 4th round pick. So basically, we moved up one round in the 2024 draft from the 5th round to the 4th round. That's what the Jets gave up, and that's what the Jets got. We basically moved up from the 5th round to the 4th round in 2024 just by getting rid of Jacob Martin and opening up some playing opportunities for guys like Bryce Huff and guys like Jermaine Johnson. So that's really the breakdown of that trade. There's nothing really more to talk about when it comes to the Jacob Martin trade, right? The Jets like what they're seeing from Bryce Huff. They're liking what they're seeing from Jermaine Johnson. And Jacob Martin was getting playing time, wasn't making that much of an impact. They thought it would be a good opportunity to get rid of his contract. That was 3 years. Not a lot of money, but it's still a 3-year deal. So they trade him away, and they give up their own 5th round pick to get back a 4th in 2024. So that's the breakdown of what the New York Jets have accomplished so far in the trade market. Now we have 9 minutes left. I don't know if there's anything that's going to happen on the Jets front. I'm curious if there's anything else. Vote Garrett Wilson for Rookie of the Week, everybody. I already did that like 50 times. You know I'm voting for Garrett Wilson over and over and over again. You should too. So the Dolphins traded the 3rd overall pick in 2021 for Waddle, Hill, and Bradley Chubb. Is that true? They moved back from 3 and they got a picks and they used that. Damn. That's some good GMing right there. Jaguars traded for Calvin Ridley. Indeed, that came out of nowhere. The Jaguars are looking ahead into the future. I mean, they're trash this year. Did the Giants pick up a receiver? No, they did not. The Giants have not made a move yet, if they will at all. So we have entered the final stage of this. The New York Jets are 5-3, and it seems like there's not really a splash move to be made. That's what I'm gathering here. That is what I am gathering. "30-year Jets fan. I'm going to watch the draft on your channel every year. You're so hyped." Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. I get hyped. That's for sure. I don't know if I'll ever get as hyped as last year's draft because that was just historic, and we're seeing how good they truly are this year. So Elijah Moore is going nowhere, in my opinion, because even though that, listen, this is what I'm going to say about the Elijah Moore situation. The Jets are not going to trade him away, and they're not going to use him on the field. I don't know what their plan is, but that plan needs to get figured out. All right? That needs to get figured out because he's not involved in the game plan. He was on the field, 10 times? And I love Garrett Wilson. I love Mims. I love the guys, but Elijah Moore's on the team. Use him. If you're not going to trade him, use him. So that's really my thoughts of that. What do you grade our trade with Broncos? Grade both sides. I think this is a win-win for both teams. It makes sense for both parties. The Jets like what they see in Bryce Huff. They like what they have in Jermaine Johnson. And it basically opens up playing opportunities for these young guys. Martin hasn't really been that great this year, and we're deep at that position. So the Jets thought it'd be a good opportunity to get better draft equity. Moving up into the draft in 2024, I think that's perfect. Right? I think this is a win-win for both sides. I think the Broncos were smart to make this move as well. It's a cheap deal that the Jets already paid majority of the guaranteed money, and they just got rid of Bradley Chubb. So they need to get as many defensive ends as possible to fill in for him. So I think this is a very good trade for both sides, man. This is one of those trades that's a win-win for both parties. Which is very rare, by the way. So we have 5 minutes to go, and it's very quiet. We saw the Miami Dolphins make the blockbuster trade of the day by getting Bradley Chubb for a first-round pick. They also went out there and got Jeff Wilson. Richie, you're so freaking knowledgeable at everything Jets. You should be assistant GM. Thank you, man. I don't think I qualify as an assistant GM. But I appreciate the compliment. 4 minutes to go. Will there be a move at the buzzer? Will there be a move at the buzzer? I'm refreshing Twitter like a madman. Like a crazy person. Come on, Joe Douglas. 3 minutes. All right, guys. I think it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. A trade. Unless he's just like working on a random deal. Oh, we got a trade, but not with the Jets. Colts are trading Nyheim Hines to the Buffalo Bills. So, the AFC East make another trade. The Buffalo Bills are getting Nyheim Hines from the Colts. Breaking news, AFC East news. So, Nyheim Hines to the Bills. That doesn't really scare me. And we are 2 minutes away. Two minutes away. So we'll see Hines on Sunday. We'll shut his ass down, baby. We'll shut his ass down. Nyheim Hines to the Bills. One minute left. One minute left. And it looks like the Jets staying put. $35 seconds. So there could still be news coming out a couple minutes after 4 o'clock. And the Jets seem like they're going to stay put with the team that they got. They move on from Jacob Martin. And that's really it. All right, so it is now 4 o'clock. Now we'll see if there's any news that comes out, because sometimes, you know, a trade can happen and then it gets reported at like 4:03 or something. And it seems like the Jets are not trading away any more players or for any other players, as it is officially 4 p.m. Now we'll see if there's any moves that comes out. But that's really it, man. How do I feel about the Dolphins getting Chubb? I already answered this, but I'll say it again. I think that the Dolphins, it makes sense for them, and the Jets were involved, but it didn't make sense for the Jets to make that move, which is why I'm not really expecting. I'm not really scared that the Jets didn't get him. I think that the Dolphins needed that, man. They need pass rush. As expected, the Jets are holding on to Elijah Moore. Now it'll be interesting to see how they will use him the rest of the season. Yes, indeed. So this is the end of the deadline. So basically, the New York Jets make one move today and a move last week to make the total of 2 moves leading up to the deadline. We traded for James Robinson and we traded away Jacob Martin. So I don't know if Joe Douglas was being active and he was trying to get something to happen. But we will see, man. Now, Denzel Mims, you requested a trade back in August. The Jets do not trade him away. Elijah Moore requested a trade a couple weeks ago. The Jets are not trading him away. So the Jets are holding on to their playmakers, and they're going into the rest of the season with the same team outside of Jacob Martin. Good luck to Jacob Martin in Denver, man. Hey, listen. I don't know the type of move that Jets fans were expecting to be made. We have offensive line help on the way after the bye week. Max Mitchell, who was looked at as a diamond in the rough type of player for the Jets before he got injured, will be back. And we'll be back at right tackle. George Fant will be back eventually to be a depth as well. So that's the biggest reason why they did not trade for an offensive tackle. I mean, I expected Denzel Mims and Elijah Moore to both be remaining on the team. So I'm not shocked. But the one move that they did make was definitely it was a shocker, but it wasn't something that's like backbreaking, right? So with Corey Davis still being nicked up with a knee injury and Elijah Moore I don't even know, it's Denzel Mims and Garrett Wilson season, baby. And of course, Tyler Conklin. And I think that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to, man. So Jets fans, please be appreciative of where this New York Jets team is at. Okay? 5-3, heading into a big time test on Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. So let's see. This defense is lights out. The offense has a lot of work to do. And the special teams hopefully can get better because special teams unit was a big strong suit this year and they got worked against the Patriots. So again, to recap, the trade deadline for the New York Jets is James Robinson. You know, you can include that as a trade deadline deal, even though it wasn't today. Unfortunately, it was at the cost of Breece Hall, so I wish we'd never even had to trade for James Robinson at all, right? I wish James Robinson was never a Jet because that means Breece is fine. But then we go out there, we trade away Jacob Martin to move up in the draft in 2024 so that we can open up more playing opportunities for Jermaine Johnson and Bryce Huff. Listen, man, there's going to be Jets fans that are upset with this team at 5-3 and allow them to be upset with the Jets at 5-3. I don't know what the hell they expected from this season, man. I really don't. It just boggles my mind that we have people upset with this team at 5-3. So the Bills give up Zach Moss at a 6th rounder. Brandon Cooks, after not getting traded, tweeted, "Don't take a man's kindness for granted. Covered for the lies for too long. Those days are done. Cross the line with playing with my career. So again, guys, the Jets made one trade today, and it was Jacob Martin going to Denver. And the Jets don't make any type of move. Hey, am I wrong for thinking for having confidence that the Jets can get revenge and beat the Patriots in Foxborough? Am I wrong for believing that? Or should I just be doom and gloom and say the Jets are going to be 5-5 in the next 2 games? Would you guys rather me do that? Okay, the Jets are going to lose the next 2 games. You're going to lose 8 games straight, and they're going to stink. I mean, what do you guys want me to say on this? Believe in the squad, baby. Believe. Let's go beat the Bills. Won't be easy, but we'll talk about it extensively here on the stream. Tomorrow, we're going to do the film breakdown of the game against the Patriots. And, yeah. Hey, listen. I appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning into the live chat. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys enjoyed. Positive vibes only over here. That does it for this live stream, guys. And yeah, so thank you guys again for tuning in to the stream. And let's go Jets, baby. We got a big week ahead of us to talk about the Jets and the Bills. Thank you to all of you guys that tuned into the stream. The Jets make one trade today and a trade last week to make a total of 2 trades. James Robinson we get, and we trade away Jacob Martin. So that's it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that like button. Help me get the 200 likes before the stream's wrapped up. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Help me out to get the 14K. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Let's go Jets. Peace out, everybody.